welcome to another vlog, another video. I feel like most of my vlogs consist of me starting in the car, but that's just reality. We keep it real on this channel. Speaking of, if this is your first time on my channel, my name is Tiff. I make health, lifestyle, bowling content, so if you want to join our growing family, hit the subscribe button down below. Don't forget to like this video, and I would love to get to know you in the comments. I respond to all the comments, so if you want to chat with me, comment down below. So again, we're going to coach and practice. Gonna be honest, not feeling great. So we're just gonna try and take it easy. We're gonna have a good practice, focus on fundamentals. But I thought something that could be fun in this video was to do a bit of a bowling Q&A. I got a bunch of my bowling friends, bowling family to ask me some questions, so I'm gonna answer those later in the vlog. But I figured I would just take you with me along for the practice. So I just rewatched the footage from that introduction to make sure I had said everything. Why didn't anyone tell me I look bad? I thought we were friends here. I forgive you, but I don't know what this vlog is gonna be. I don't even know what this day is gonna be right now. All right, we have now made it to Classic. I am so early. I always show up so early, but it gives me time to eat my Chipotle. I do this all the time. I'm always here so early, but it's kind of fun because I just get to like blast music, eat my Chipotle, have a great time before going into practice, kind of set some intentions for practice. I'm kind of hoping we're bowling on the support pattern we bowled on last week, which was 37-foot Broadway. I'm kind of hoping we're bowling on that again. But yeah, it's giving me some time to eat my Chipotle, set some intentions. And while I eat this, I'm gonna answer some of the questions. Side note, if you guys haven't heard the soundtrack for the new Spider-Verse movie, literally listen to it. I have not listened to anything since watching that movie. Like, that's not even an exaggeration. Like, I don't know what other songs exist in the world right now besides that album. How did you get into bowling? So both of my parents actually bowled competitively. They met at a national championship, so I got into bowling because of them. What is your favorite part of your game? I think there's two. One of them is that I can play parts of the lane that most women struggle with. I think that's one of my favorite parts because I'm able to do those things because my ball roll is so unique, which I think is one of my favorite things. I do struggle on some of the patterns though that a lot of women excel at, so it's kind of like a blessing and a curse, I guess. But I don't know, being able to be uniquely myself is definitely one of my favorite parts. But also another favorite part of my game is how much I bowl with my heart. I think if you go back and watch the Team Canada vlogs that I have or the live stream, you can really see that I compete with my heart on my sleeve and I put 110% in. So yeah, honestly, that's probably my favorite one, is how much I compete with my heart. If you could give one piece of advice to your former self or your younger self, what would it be? I think just that. Just perform and bowl like yourself. I still get caught up in this because it's so ingrained in my mind that I often forget to bowl like myself. I try to bowl like every other girl, and then I get trapped. And I think there's a way that I can look at the other women to get lined up, but I need to understand that we can get to the same part down lane, but the way that I get there might be a little bit different. And so I think if I could tell my younger self to just bowl like me, I would even be better off now. I wouldn't be doubting myself as much because I'd be so much more deeply rooted in myself and in my truth and in my conviction. So that's probably what I would tell my younger self, is just bowl like you. I feel like some of these are the same, but what's your best tip for remaining confident on the lanes? Being yourself. I think the times that I felt the most confident on the lanes, I was just being genuine. I wasn't trying to be somebody I'm not. I wasn't trying to fit a certain mold. I was just Tiff. And I'll be honest, this is still hard. It's still hard to go on the lane sometimes and be confident. And I think that's something that's normal, something we should normalize. Like, even some of the pros have a hard time. You know, some of the pros sometimes have moments where they're not super confident, and that's okay. But just kind of getting back into that area and that zone of being confident is what's important. And I think a lot of that stems with being true to yourself and being okay with yourself. And that's why I've talked about all the off-lane work, whether it is bowling books or even just self-help books. Wow, that was a tongue twister. Self-help books. Anything that can strengthen your relationship with yourself is something that you can bring onto the lanes to help. And I think that answers another question here is, what does your outside life have an effect on your bowling life? An immense amount of effect, because once you start to feel confident and have compassion and respect for yourself, that carries into every aspect of your life. And that's something that I'm really working on, is giving myself grace regardless of what it is. Like I mentioned, I'm not feeling well, so I'm gonna try and eat this. If I don't get through all of it, that's okay. I tried. I ate some food. You know, giving yourself grace where you need it. If, you know, I'm hoping that my practice goes really well. If it doesn't and some things feel a little bit off, that's okay. Like, you're not gonna peak all the time. And I think just kind of, for me at least, having that compassion piece is gonna better my life overall. What do you do to stay calm under pressure or when you're not performing well? Pre-shot routine, that's a big one for me. That kind of resets my body and kind of helps me get into that state of flow because it's familiar. I think when I'm not bowling well is taking a step back to kind of decompress a little bit and then figure out why. A lot of the time it's ball motion, or I'm just doubting myself. So kind of taking a step back, getting that perspective and figuring out why I'm struggling. But when it comes to pressure, pre-shot routine. How did you make the jumps up in progression from more recreational bowling, youth bowling, PWBA? Seeking out people that could help me and practicing with intent. And I think that's a big one, is practicing with intention, because going out and throwing bowling balls mindlessly, you're not practicing the right things. So I think intentional practicing, you know, spares are super important. What has been the most meaningful moment for you in your bowling career? I have 3, but for very different reasons. So one of them is the medal in Mexico. That was just a really special moment to win a medal with your country on your back. Like there's nothing like it. My last youth nationals was pretty crazy. My doubles partner and I won gold. We set the record for the doubles average, and then I ended up winning that nationals. So that was really a really good way to go out of my youth career. The last one is the most recent one, which is being selected to the women's team. If you could room with one female player for a season on the women's tour, who would you choose? Shannon O'Keefe. She just has so much knowledge, and you can understand what makes her the champion and what made her player of the year so many times, and her thought process and what she sees and all of that stuff. Like, I would just love to get insight into that. And you know, she's a beast. There's no way to put it. Like, she is like a shark. she smells blood and she just like goes for it. So I would pick Shannon O'Keefe. For pure entertainment though, I'd probably pick Dasha Kovalova, because she just seems so fun. I think the last question I'm gonna answer, because this is already a pretty long clip, is growing up, who are some of your influences and who do you currently look up to? So my mom likes to remind me that I did a whole presentation in in school about CDB and how I wanted to be just like her and how I wanted to beat her record. By the time I was 16, plot twist, didn't happen. But clearly CDB. Yeah, she was a big influence when I was younger. I think watching women like CDB, you know, you've got Kelly Kulick, Liz Johnson, the GOAT, like all of these women who really paved the way. Those were all influences, obviously. But now, I feel like this is a Shannon O'Keefe fan video, but Shannon O'Keefe is a really good one. I love Daria Payok's physical game. Like, it's incredible. Dasha Kovalova's one, for me at least, because she's been very open and honest about like competing with her anxiety, which is something that I struggle with as well. So to see Dasha out there winning and doing it is, you know, reassuring to me and inspiring to me. So Dasha, yeah, I think those are good. I'm trying to think. I don't know. I'm so inspired by so many women on the tour that it's hard. Like, I'm even inspired by my own teammates. You know, you got like Felicia Wong, Miranda Panis, one of my best friends, Marissa Naylor, you know, Samantha Howe, you got Sarah Klassen, Corinne Bouchard, Jade Cote, Brittany Turcotte. I'm like, who am I forgetting? I don't know. We have such an incredible team. Jennifer Bassana. You know, my teammates are very inspiring, so I'm inspired by them. And then obviously like the women I mentioned on the tour. But yeah, lots of influences, lots of people who are inspiring, but also it's cool that I've developed relationships with these people, you know, so we can work together. Hope you enjoyed the Q&A part of this video. I'm going to eat this because I barely ate this. I've just talked way too much. So I'm gonna try and eat this and then we'll see you inside. Okay, and with that, I am home. I'm with this crazy bum right here. Hey, crazy. And so I'm gonna end the vlog here. But before I do, just wanted to touch on my practice a little bit. Not sure how much you could tell from the video footage and all of that. I made some really good shots today. I really kept my angles in front of me, more right to left, things I'm kind of working on to bowl better on short, and it went well. So that was really good. And then with Sam, just trying to get her in the right part of the lane and get her feeling comfortable and more familiar with reading lane patterns. But yeah, I think it was a good practice nonetheless. And I hope you enjoyed this video. If you enjoyed the vlog part, if you enjoyed the Q&A, give it a thumbs up. Let me know in the comments anything you want to tell me, and I will see you in my next video. Do you want to say anything, buddy? Do you got something to say? Oh my gosh. Do you want to say anything? Say goodbye. Bye, everyone.